Welcome to the Doggone Positive Way, where I am going to teach you how to train your dog using science-based methods that we know work, and it's going to be easy and it's going to be fun. Anybody can do it, and it can be done anywhere. So hang out with me, listen to my pod, and let's get going and training your dogs. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Doggone Positive Way. This is season 2, and we're talking all about puppies, and this is part 2 of house training. Last week we just kind of laid a foundation of house training, all the supplies you need, and you can go back and check that out. It's last week's episode. And this week we're just kind of talking a little bit more about things you need to know, how to just be successful. Here's one of the mistakes that people use. They leave their dog food down all the time, constantly. So your puppy or your adult dog can just go and just free feed. We call it free feeding. So you can never really keep track of the amount that they feed, which is really not a good plan, because if you ever have to go to the vet, your vet's going to be like, did your dog eat today? And you're going to be like, I don't know. Maybe. How much do you feed your dog? I don't know. I fill the bowl up. Well, how deep is the bowl? How many cups are no, you don't have that information. So stop free feeding and start measuring your dog's food. Use the back of the dog food instructions just as a guide. They want you to buy more food. I talked to you about that before. So just use it as a guide, okay? Puppies, some puppies, depending on the age, if they're really young, you're going to feed them 3 small meals a day. And that means you have them on some type of a schedule, and you give them about 10-15 minutes to eat. That's an exorbitant amount of time. I would really keep it down to 10 minutes. So this is what you do. And you're going to incorporate the crate in this, because again, we want to keep the crate as a happy place, not a sad place, not a punishment place, not a mean place, just a happy, reinforcing place for them to go, like their little house, their little den. Just think of it like that, their little house or little den. So here you go. Okay, there should already be in the crate at this point, but you can start teaching them the cue. If they're out, go in the crate, and chances are they're going to follow you. They're looking up at you. You're carrying their bowl through the, from the kitchen or wherever you feed the dogs from, and you're going to their crate, and you're saying, come on, go in the crate, crate. And they go in the crate, and you put their food bowl in, and you should close the door. Now, if they're really young, they're kind of, not really gonna fuss too much. I don't think. It depends on the dog if you close the door of the crate. Some dogs are gonna have an issue with it, so you might want to work it in small approximations where you put the dog food in, the bowl in, and leave the door open. Don't put it all the way in and have the dog with their butt sticking out, and then you push them in and close the crate. No, don't do that. Do not trick your dog. Do not turn your dog into a suspicious dog. It creates so many problems. So if you need to leave the crate door open for a little bit, it's okay. You can do that. All right. We want it, again, to be positive and happy. I've always just gone straight in, like, here's your crate, and this is where you're going to get fed. This is where all the good things are going to happen, because I needed it as a management tool. So no more free feeding. You're going to keep on some type of schedule that goes according to your schedule. You want to be consistent in what you're doing. So you want to be consistent in the amount of food. You want to be consistent in taking your dog out on a specific schedule before they eat and after they eat. And you want to control their food. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about is with the crate is it's really important to start using your crate or their crate for just containment while you're home. Get them used to it. A lot of people work from home now. So I think it's really a struggle that people have when they're home and their puppy, should be in the crate. And they're like, well, but I'm home. Yeah, but you cannot watch your puppy. And when I say watch your puppy, I mean watch your puppy. Like your eyes are focused on your puppy. Because you cannot trust your puppy. I'm always going to say this. You cannot trust your puppy. They are not trustworthy. They can't handle freedom, okay? So, this is Troy in the background. He's kind of complaining. But they can't handle that much freedom, okay? So, when you're home, get the Kong out and put it in there. Stuff it with something really good. Some peanut butter. You can use bananas. You can put their dog food in it, treats. You can do all three at the same time, okay? Just make it really yummy. You can freeze it, especially with the puppies. It's nice if you give them a frozen Kong because they're chewing so much because their baby teeth are coming in. And it's very uncomfortable, like babies, human babies, they teeth. Same thing, right? Teeth are erupting through the gum line, and man, it's gotta be so painful. We don't remember it, but we did it. Really, I just want you guys to be aware of that, and I want you to be aware that you need to turn that crate into something fabulous while you're home also, because you're working at home. You need to have freedom. You need to have the ability to do your job without your puppy chewing the leg of your desk while you're having your Zoom meeting, okay? So it's all about management. It's all about puppy-proofing your house and puppy-proofing your dog and future-proofing your puppy to be used to a secure environment and to make the crate secure and safe. I just want to bounce back to just some basic house training stuff. A lot of people are like, oh, well, we use house training pads or newspapers, and they're chewing them up, or they don't go on them. I don't understand. Okay, listen. Please, don't use any of that crap. It's a waste of money, and I don't care if you have newspapers, okay? It's just a waste. You're teaching your dog to defecate and urinate in your house. That's gross. And even Troy agrees that that's gross and should not be done. And you don't want them to why do you want them to do that? It's old fashioned. I mean, it's so old school. It's not even funny. And it's like you're still gonna need to teach them to go outside. Take them outside. Don't be lazy. Take your dog outside. Your dog doesn't know, as much as your dog doesn't know that this is the space that they need to go on in your house. If you have a newspaper down or house training pads, you need to teach them to go there. If that's what you want them to do, you need to do the same thing that we're doing outside. But don't do it. Don't teach them to eliminate in your house. And don't teach them to eliminate in your house and then go outside sometimes, and then sometimes inside, and then sometimes outside. Because guess what? Your dog's going to start peeing and pooping in your house, wherever. It's going to be confused. Your dog's going to get confused. Your puppy's going to be like, what the hell is going on? So I want you guys to think about that stuff with your dogs. You don't want to mess with their heads. And it's like, as humans, we're like, oh, that's fine. They can just go along with the flow. No, guess what? They don't know what the flow is. And then all of a sudden, we're all over with the flow. You cannot do that to them. You cannot mess with their heads like that. So stay on a schedule. Don't do anything where you're teaching your dog to eliminate in your house. You want them to eliminate outside. Get outside. Get your puppy outside. Now people are going to be like, oh, well, my vet said that they shouldn't go out until they have had all their shots. Okay, stay out of dog parks, always. Stay off a dog beach, always. It's like a disaster behaviorally. but it's also a disaster for, you know, viruses, bacteria, all the stuff that dogs can, you know, catch if they're not vaccinated, or maybe because they're just young, they are more susceptible, right? They're definitely more susceptible when they're young. When they're seniors, they're more susceptible, just like humans, okay? There's some parallels there, okay? But listen, you guys need to remember that your dog needs to be outside in fresh air, not in some, you know, dog park. Take them for a walk. Keep them on concrete if you need to. Walk them, you know, on the sidewalk in a development if you live in a development, or in a neighborhood. Whatever your situation is, wherever you need to go, your dog needs to be socialized to the outside world. I don't care what you're going to do, what you ultimately want to do. I want you to future-proof your puppy. And so does Troy. He's very upset right now that you guys are, you know, possibly going to do all the things that you shouldn't do. Because you want to have a dog that, you know, when your puppy grows up, you want them to be well adjusted. You want to be able to go anywhere, right? Don't you want to travel? Maybe you want to take your dog with you everywhere. Maybe you don't. Maybe you want to leave your dog home. Maybe you want to board your dog. Maybe your dog gets boarded at the vet or whatever. Guess what? You messed up your dog back here as a puppy because you didn't get them used to their crate, and you did whatever with schedules. You didn't do preventative. Now you're like, I want to go away. And guess what? Your puppy and your adult dog at this point is pretty freaked out because they've never gotten used to, you know, being confined while other people were in the room and being okay with it and being settled in their crate because you didn't do that as a puppy. You didn't listen, right? You didn't even get them used to a crate, period. So now your dog is freaking out when they're being boarded or staying at somebody else's house. So you've got to think about these things. This is why I say all this stuff, and I'm telling you what to do because I know what I'm talking about because I've been doing this for a very, very long time with thousands of dogs. So, and thousands of people, because this is just, everybody gets a puppy and they think, we don't need to do anything. And I get mostly adult dogs. So that's why this is such an important topic. This is probably one of the most important seasons I'm ever going to have on here. And I just want you guys to heed my warnings about what you need to do with your dog, with your puppy. Get them used to being crated. Get them used to being alone in a crate. Get them used to being in a crate while you're home. Okay? And get them used to being outside. I went off on a tangent. Sorry, I have a little ADHD tonight. Get them outside. Get your dog used to being around other dogs, other neighbors, other people, different noises, everything. You don't have to walk up to anybody in the beginning. If you're afraid of illness, you don't have to walk up to anybody. That's fine. You don't have to engage with another dog right away. But I will tell you this, that your dog's social window closes at around 4.5 months. 5 months? Maybe max. Guess what? Whatever happened to them during that social period, whether they were socialized or not socialized, to people, to dogs, to cats, to babies, to noises, to thunder, to lightning, to whatever, to different surfaces on the floor, guess what? Whatever they're not socialized to, they're going to have a really hard time later in life. So it's your job as a puppy owner to do all your preventative work up front. Socialize the hell out of your dog. House train your dog. Crate train your dog. Take your dog for walks. I mean, you've got to do this. You've got to sign up for puppy class. You need a group class. Of course, I'm here to do private lessons with you, but you need to go do a group class. I had group classes with puppies starting at 8 weeks of age because guess what? The chances of your puppy getting an illness in a group class is really low, okay? you know what? The percentage, and I will look this up, the percentage of you getting rid of your dog or your young puppy, usually around 9 months to like a year, is greater than them getting any illnesses. So think about that. Take that chance and get your puppy trained. They're already going to have some shots on board at 8 weeks. They're already going to have some protection on board. Do a class outside. A lot of places have classes outside, like a lot of rec centers and that type of thing. I know it's winter. You have options. You need to socialize your dog within that social period. Troy is all over this. He hears Tammy outside of the door. I'm in the pantry because our sound is good in here, and he hears her walking around out there, so he wants to get to her. But I'm about to wrap this up anyway. I just want to really just hit home to you guys how important it is to crate train your puppy, how important it is to get them used to what they can and can't do, and he's wagging his tail now, and to get them addicted to chew toys like Kong toys. Get them addicted to what's right to chew, not what's wrong to chew. All right, you got any questions? Give me a call, DM me. You can email me, scrattyopatty@gmail.com. I'm all over social it's at Dog Gone Positive, and it's DOGGONEPOSITIVE, or I'm also on Facebook, Maria Ryan. So you can definitely reach me, and I hope you reach out. And if you have any questions, please leave some comments. Please share and subscribe, and just follow me on this channel. It really helps the algorithm. I want to help as many people and puppies and dogs as possible, and the only way I can do that is if you guys help me get the information out there by sharing, liking, and commenting, and following me. All right, thanks. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on the Dog Gone Positive Way. I hope I've helped you solve some of your behavior problems. And if you have questions, please leave comments. If you liked what you heard, please leave comments. Please share the podcast. Let your friends know I'm here to help you and your dogs and their dogs. Thanks again for listening. Can't wait to talk to you again next time. Bye.